Okay, we're up to the next part, and we're going to do the koshering of the sinks. Now you want to ask, why do we need to kosher the sinks? And the answer is that you ever make noodles? I don't know if you ever seen the kitchen, the gentleman at least, but the women certainly know. When you make pasta or noodles, you usually boil water. You take the hametz, which is the pasta, and you put it in the water. And then when you're done, you pour that water inside the sink, so that's straight hot fire that's going into the sink. Now keep the rule that we said in mind beforehand. Anything that has hametz in it, which only absorbs through hot, even though it doesn't absorb through cold, still the hakamim made a gezerah. They have to kosher it even when you want to use it in cold. So therefore the sinks which get a lot of hametz also need to be koshered. So the first step that we did is that we boiled here some water. If you could see, and you can zoom in a little bit, yeah, to the camera over here, we'll see that the water is being boiled on the pot. All this is water. The bubbles that you see is soap. You don't have to put soap. But if you want to put soap, it's preferable, it's better. You put some palmolive soap inside. And now, you wait till it starts bubbling. As you see over here, this pot over here already, yeah, it's bubbling already. Good? We got a picture of that? Good? You see how it's bubbling? So this is ready for hagala. Now I would wait a little bit more till it gets more bubbling, because it has to remain bubbling as I pour it into the sink. Now pay attention, when I pour it into the sink, it's going to be very quick. I want to show you a few things to keep in mind. Number one is what has to be koshered. What has to be koshered is anything metal that you see over here, which is the sides of the sink plus the inside of the sink, the bottom of the sink, the floor of the sink. Okay, again, this floor, the walls over here, and I'm going to try to hit also these spots as well. An important point to keep in mind is that two. Number one is that when you pour the hot water, I'm showing an example, is that you see how this stream of water is hitting the floor over here? Maybe, it's making too much noise. Let's keep it like this. When you do hagala, this is called Eirufim Kliri Shon, where we pour, this only koshers this spot. Even though the water is flowing to the other areas of the sink, it doesn't make the other areas kosher. You need that the water flow should directly hit every spot. So that's why it'll be much better and easier to do with a big pot where the water will spill everywhere. Number two you have to keep in mind is that everything should be, in the surface should be dry. So I can have the towel for a second. Thank you. Just a towel. Okay. Everything should be dry before beginning to kosher the sinks or the area that you want to pour on. As you can see, we're doing this from the house live. This is real stuff. This is not a joke. It's not just a trial. Even the kids are yelling in the background. This is how usually things are. You can make sure that the kids are away, that nobody should get hurt. Okay, so I'm going to begin using this part over here, which I see already is bubbling and overflowing, as you see over here. Okay, make sure, please, to make sure you're safe, you don't burn yourself. So let's begin. Wow, see? You gotta be careful. Take off the pot cover. We'll keep it over here. Okay, now follow me. Now I'm looking at this actually. It's not 100% bubbling, but this is bubbling over here. And I'm going to use this spot first. Let's begin. Okay. First maybe I want to shut off the gas. And now, as the thing is bubbling, I will pour. Watch how it's going to hit every spot. Okay? What I did just now is I koshered the surface, the front over here of the sink. Very hard to do with glasses because it fogs up your glasses. But the next part I need to do is the walls, like we mentioned. I don't have so much water to do it. I'm going to put it back on the fire to bring it back to bubbling point. Okay? And then what we'll do is we'll begin with the next step, which is kosher the sides, the parts on the side over here, the walls on the side, and also the floor and on the two sinks. Okay? Pretty much we got the idea of how to kosher the sinks. You could watch as I pour it again, but in short, this is what we have to do. We have to wait for the water to bubble, and as advice, not halakha, as advice, it's good to keep a few pots. As you saw, I was only able to do with one pot the floor. You keep a few pots with the water bubbling, and then afterwards you take it as it's still bubbling and you pour on the surface. Each spot that needs to be koshered, the water must hit it directly, and this way you have koshered your sink, you have koshered the spots that you need to pour on it.